Hi, I'm Mama Fontana and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to do something really fun. We're going to do some spaghetti. So this is going to be a basic spaghetti sauce. So you can use this for spaghetti, you can use it for lasagna, you can use it for manicotti. Whatever you want to use it for, you can. So we're going to start with using just plain Italian mild sausage. Now this is a new little cooktop I got, so I'm hoping I can figure this out. Makes a little bit of noise, so I apologize. So we're going to start with EVOO, extra virgin olive oil. Put some of that in the bottom of the pan, probably about a tablespoon or so. And then I have 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. Wow, look at that thing. Holy moly. Let's take it down a little bit. Wow, that sounds like it's a cooking. We're going to give that a little stir. And then next we're going to put in just one, can you see me? 1 medium diced onion. You're going to like to get these spices in there first because they're delicious. Onion and garlic is one of the things they cook together really well. When you're cooking your onions and garlic and any kind of vegetables, one of the things you're going to want to remember is for them to cook the best, you need to make sure you add salt. So I'm going to go ahead and add salt and pepper now. There's about a teaspoon of each right here, a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. We're going to go ahead and add that in there now. We're going to get this a little stir. When those start to get a little bit translucent, what we're going to do is start breaking up the sausage in it. So I bought Johnsonville mild Italian sausage, and I just took the casing off because you can cut it up and use the casing, it's not going to hurt anything, but I like to just take it and then you can just kind of break it up and get it in your sauce, kind of like a burger or something. But it's just sweet, mild Italian sausage, and it has a great flavor, has lots of really good things in it. I can't tell you what those things are, but I have 2 packages of these. Let's give that another little stir. We don't want anything to burn. So it ended up being probably about 10 of these little sausages. I don't know about you, but sausage really makes a delicious sauce. I've used burger before, and there's nothing wrong with burger. It tastes delicious too. But Italian sausage has a few more spicy things in it that make it taste delicious. And if you're wanting to go with something straight Italian, then you're going to want to use Italian sausage. And I'm married to an Italian, so he likes his stuff Italian-y. Holy! So this can take a little getting used to this new thing, but I wanted you guys to be able to see what I'm doing in here, so rather than having my stove over there, I thought this would be easier. So far, this is what it looks like. I know, I'm off the burner. It tells you if you don't have something on there. I tried a couple different pots, and little did I know when I bought it, you have to have a completely flat bottom for it to work. It's called an induction cooktop. So that's the end of the sausage. So that is cooking up. We're going to let it brown up. And then we have a bunch of other stuff to add in there. Like I said, this is a sauce that I have made for a lot of different things. I've made it for spaghettis. It's delicious for lasagna. And it takes, after you put everything together, depending on what you're doing with it, it takes quite a while if you want it to get really thick, depending on what you're making. So if I'm making lasagna, I usually let it cook for 3 or 4 hours at a very low temperature, just enough to kind of keep it going. If you're making spaghetti, you don't need to have it cook quite that long. Also, you can use it for baked ziti. I also like to make manicotti, so I buy the big shells, and then I mix up ricotta cheese with some eggs and some Italian type seasonings. And then if you put it into a piping bag, or you can actually just use a plastic bag, like a Ziploc bag, cut off the end and you can pipe it in. Makes it really easy to do. So this is going to take a few minutes to cook. And while it's cooking, I wanted to tell you guys that I really appreciate the fact that you guys are watching. I took a little trip with my husband and one of my sons today. We went up to a little town in Idaho. We go up there and get our lottery tickets and stuff. It's called Franklin. And we always go to the same place to get our lottery tickets, and it's called La Tienda. And last time I was there, I had just had a few videos that were out, and I was buying some wine, and I was talking to the lady behind the counter, and we got to talking about cooking, and I said, well, I have a YouTube channel. It's called Mama Fontana's Kitchen. She wrote it down, and this has probably been, I want to say, 5 or 6 weeks ago, because we go, every 5 or 6 weeks and get tickets. And so she said she was going to check it out. I noticed that she subscribed on my channel very quickly. And when I went walking in there today, I just opened the door and she walked by and she goes, hi, and I said hi. All of a sudden she stopped dead in her tracks and she goes, you're Mama Fontana. I said, yes, I am. And she said, you're a local legend around here. We watch you on the channel all the time. And this is a very small little town, so that was like my first claim to fame. So thank you guys for watching. Hello, La Tienda. I appreciate it very much. So if you would do me a favor, is make sure that you're sharing this with your friends and subscribe. We want to keep doing this for a long time, so make sure that you're sharing it out. Tell your friends about it. If you have somebody who likes to cook or wants to learn some stuff or just likes to have fun, have them check us out. With this being December now, we're going to start cooking a few different things. Right now we're doing spaghetti, and then we're going to do some other nice things for Christmas. I think we're going to do a few things for Christmas. Like I said, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, let me know what you're liking, and I'm going to try to do the best I can with getting this done. So now that this is getting browned, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my green peppers. So these have a really nice, fresh, crunchy taste and smell to them. So when you add them in there, you don't need to have them cooked too finely or cut too finely. It's something about peppers that just make everything taste and smell delicious. If you don't like them, don't put them in. Oh, I'm off the thing. Thanks, PJ. We're having a little drink tonight. As you know, I've told you before that my son and his fiance are actually the people behind the camera. They have lights. This is film. That's Sarah. She's the one that stole the popcorn in the Halloween episode. You've seen PJ sneak in a time or two, and he might be tasting this sauce. All right, next thing, now that this is all kind of browned up and looking delicious, key ingredient for a good tomato sauce or spaghetti sauce, tomato paste. Tomato paste is what's going to make it thicken up. If you don't put tomato paste in there, you are going to have some thin, runny sauce. So use a whole can. This comes in smaller cans. I like to use a bigger can. It's 12 ounces. It doesn't matter the brand, honestly. So use whatever brand you like. So you're going to use a whole thing of tomato paste. It's quite thick, which is good. And get that stirred in there. Next thing you're going to use is 2 cans of, these are just peeled tomatoes. These are whole, and they're quite thick, and it comes with like a sauce, and the tomatoes are pretty good size. I actually bought these at a little Italian store that I go to, and I think you might can get them in some grocery stores. Not all grocery stores carry them because I think they're kind of a brand. Peeled tomatoes with basil leaves, so that's delicious. It has, look at the size of those tomatoes. So when you're cooking this, you're going to want to stir, and they'll break apart so that someone doesn't get some giant tomato when they're eating your sauce. But it adds so much to the sauce having those fresh tomatoes. It's so delicious. Starting to look pretty good. Now we're going to add 4 cans, just the regular size cans of tomato sauce. It's bubbling up in here. It's starting to look pretty delicious. A lot of people like spaghetti. Spaghetti was always kind of, when my kids were growing up, it's one of the go-to meals. And the good thing about spaghetti is it can last more than just one meal. It also freezes really well. So if you make too much sauce, don't despair. Put it in a plastic container, put it in the freezer, and then you can have it again. As a matter of fact, a lot of times I'll make great big batches of stuff, whether it's the spaghetti sauce or I'll make Alfredo. And I have some freezer containers and some metal containers. In fact, it's something that I give people for Christmas quite often is I'll make to-go meals. And so it'll be a container and I'll put everything in it, the pasta, the sauce, everything on top, put a little bit of plastic over it and the lid and freeze it. And those are really great Christmas gifts. People love to be able to pull something out of the oven, out of the freezer, and have a dinner all ready to go. That's been some of the best presents I think I've given people. They always request them after the fact. All right, here is my seasonings. There is 1 tablespoon of oregano, 1 of basil, and then I get a tablespoon of just Italian seasoning as well. And it has a little oregano and basil, but also has rosemary and thyme and all those kinds of things. So basically there's 3 tablespoons there. And you're gonna wanna put all that in there, and that's really gonna give you some delicious flavor. As soon as I get this stirred up, I'm gonna tilt this a little bit so you can see how delicious this is looking. Nice thick sauce. Now the next ingredient is something that not everybody uses, and everybody always questions me when they have my sauce. They're like, it's so delicious, what's that different taste? And I learned this from my sister-in-law because she's Greek, and her father or her grandmother, I can't remember which, actually did this. I put a teaspoon of cinnamon in. Sounds weird. It is absolutely to die for. So try a little teaspoon of cinnamon in there, and it seriously changes the flavor of the sauce and the smell. So good. So now this is everything that we need to put in there. I've got some pasta that's cooking. Actually, I think it's cooked. So we're gonna let this heat through. Like I said, depending on what you're gonna do, it can be an hour, it can be 3 or 4 hours, it doesn't matter. Just keep it on a low heat to cook it through, and then use whatever you're gonna use. If you can use your lasagna, your manicotti, whatever. So we're gonna let it cook for about an hour, and then you're gonna come back and we're gonna show you what it looks like and how it tastes. Be back in 60. Well, it's been about 45 minutes to an hour, and like I told you, depending on what you're gonna make will depend on how long you wanna cook this. It looks gorgeous. Look at it steaming hot. And I'm gonna just kind of dish a little bit up. I cooked a little bit of spaghetti, a little bit of pasta. We're gonna put it over here. A little bit of pasta. And then we're gonna put, whoa, horsey, get out of there. Put a little bit of salsa on here. Look at how pretty that is. Meaty, veggies. And you cannot forget your Parmesan cheese, one of my most favorite things. And I like it kind of a big, look how beautiful that is. This is my son, PJ. He's gonna come in and taste with me. Come on. I know you love it. One of your favorite meals. You wanna do the Lady and the Tramp thing?
No.
Really, you don't wanna go?
We need more of this though.
Okay, I know, you're a cheesy guy. Okay, ready? Okay. Mixy, mixy. Ooh, get the green stuff because those are your favorite. He hates vegetables. Okay, ready?
Cheers.
1, cheers, 2, 3.
That's good.
Good stuff, huh? Thanks, honey. Well, that was delicious. If you have any questions or you need anything better, like how many of this, how much of that, let me know. I'll send it out to you. I tried to do it as easily as I could. And remember, subscribe, I'm gonna do some chili verde coming up. I'm gonna do a few Christmas items, stuff like that. So we got really good stuff coming up. So keep your eyes and ears peeled. And as always, I cook for the love of my family, and now I share that with you. Have a great one. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much for watching this video. For the bread videos, click here. For pumpkin chocolate chip cookies, click here. And always subscribe.